Polling urges Andrew Holness to call general elections. JLP's Communication Task Force member Marlon Morgan says candidates' lack of familiarity with Ainantown residents played a major role in her defeat. Opposition Senator Senate Damon Crawford says the PNP's win of the two divisional by-elections on Friday should put a damper on the JLP's annual conference. In news from the region, security update reveals more guns coming into the region from the US. On the international scene, central Beirut residential building hit by massive Israeli strikes. While in sports, Russell takes pole with Verstappen ahead of Norris in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The details after this. Despite a hard-fought battle, the opposition People's National Party (PNP) has emerged victorious in Friday's divisional by-elections. The Mark Golding-led PNP claimed both the Ainantown division in Clarendon and the Morant Bay division in St. Thomas. This significant win in the by-elections marks a crucial moment for Golding and the PNP. The result not only strengthens the party's position but also fuels their momentum as they prepare for the upcoming general elections. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
As expected, the Jamaica Labour Party (JLP) secured the two uncontested parliamentary by-elections, solidifying their hold on both seats. The JLP's Marissa Dalrymple Philibert will return to Gordon House as the Member of Parliament for South Trelawney. She triumphed with a commanding 75% of the vote, though her independent opponent Lloyd Gillings put up a respectable challenge. Meanwhile, in Northwest St. Andrew, the JLP's Dwayne Smith has been declared the new Member of Parliament for the constituency, securing a staggering 94% of the vote. However, the real drama unfolded at the divisional level, where the PNP focused its efforts and saw substantial returns. In St. Thomas, the PNP retained the Morant Bay division under Councillor Rosemary Shaw. Preliminary results from the Electoral Office of Jamaica (EOJ) shows that she garnered 2,096 votes, to her opponents 1,978. In Clarendon, the PNP also clinched a narrow victory in the Ainantown division. Their new councillor, Delroy Shaw, triumphed by just 54 votes, proving that every vote truly counts. Preliminary results from the EOJ show that Shaw secured 1,646 votes to the JLP's Suzette Brown's 1,592 votes. The municipal corporation now finds itself in a deadlock, although the JLP's Joel Williams will remain the mayor. This is despite the shift in divisional control. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding is urging the government to call general elections fresh off his victory in the recent divisional by-elections.
The people of Jamaica want change. They want a different course to move forward with different leadership. We have a leader who is compromised. His Integrity Commission declarations can't be certified. There are 8 persons, of which he is one, who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. The country cannot be run by a government with that cloud hanging over it. Time come for change, and we want elections now.
Mr. Golding credits the victory in the divisional by-elections to clean politics over money.
And we worked hard, and we did what we had to do organizationally, and the other side did what they do, which is a bit different to us. You know, they have resources, etc., that they brought to bear. But I was very happy that at the end of the day, the people decided to go with us. And I think it's a good day for democracy in Jamaica because it shows that clean politics can still win in this country.
Mark Golding, opposition leader, he was speaking in Ainantown, Clarendon. In the meantime, member of the JLP's Communication Task Force, Marlon Morgan, says Suzette Barton's lack of familiarity with Ainantown residents compared to her opponent Delroy Dawson played a major role in her defeat.
The truth is that in Ainantown, we had a candidate who would have been fairly new in terms of candidacy. We know that Ainantown has traditionally been supportive of the PNP. Indeed, the PNP's candidate, Mr. Dawson, is someone who has served in a previous dispensation as the councillor there. And so we had the deceased, former councillor who won in February. And so our candidate, Suzette Barton, did didn't make it home this time around. But the truth is that relative to her opponent, she was more of an unknown quantity, though we gave it our best shot.
He says Labourites will still be highly energized as they prepare for Sunday's annual conference.
We are going into conference seized as to what is required and very mindful of where we are. As I said a while ago, these aren't the results we would have hoped for. And so it may appear as though, our spirits would be a bit deflated and whatnot. I mean, it's a part of life. In politics, there can only be one winner. We know that when we go into these contests, the stakes are high because there's no second place in politics. But that notwithstanding, we are focusing on the mission ahead. We are going to be attending upon the national arena on Sunday in our numbers. We're going to be turning out in droves, and we're going to be hearing from our party leader and the support cast.
Marlon Morgan, member of the JLP's Communication Task Force. Popular opposition Senator Damon Crawford says the PMP's win of the 2 divisional by-elections on Friday should put a damper on the JLP's annual conference at the National Arena on Sunday. The PMP won both the Ain Town division in Clarendon and the Morant Bay division in St. Thomas. Senator Crawford reacted to the victory while speaking on Nationwide News on Friday evening.
Of course, we're excited. We wanted to send the JLP to conference depressed, and we have achieve that. It would be a very sad conference on Sunday. I think they should postpone it and recover from this shellacking. We are fully expectant of winning the next election. And it is the JLP that have the ability to call it, and they can't call it. That's because everywhere that we have lost, we will get back, and everywhere we want, we will get. So they are in a spot of bother at this moment in time.
He says the PMP's strategy of focusing on the Ain Town division proved successful.
In politics, the margins don't matter. As Lisa Hanna said, if you won by 32, you will skin your 32. So at the end of the day, we only need one to win. We were very strategic in how we approached it. We knew that we had a good margin over in St. Thomas. So we focused our energies and our effort in getting back in town against a government who have government resources, who have government ministers, and they were beaten. But I don't have to go further than the fact that the Prime Minister can't call the election. So if they're confident, call it and we could prove it. We don't care if we win by 1,000 or by 1. So therefore, our efforts were, if you look at the schedule for myself, for Mark Golding, for the faces of the party, they were concentrated in Ain Town to carry home that victory. And we have carried home that victory.
Senator Damon Crawford, opposition spokesperson on education. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in several communities in the Whithorn, Westmoreland. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. Sunday. The curfew covers the Morass, Bastard Cedar Walk, Pullet Lane, Bullet Tree Lane and Shrewsbury Logwood communities in the parish. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized. The news now from the region. The number of guns leaving U.S. ports bound for the Caribbean and Latin America has noticeably increased over the past 7 years, according to a regional security update. The trend was one of several highlighted in a 10-page document compiled by the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, and the Small Arms Survey. The report, which used data obtained from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, was published Friday and noted that seizures of firearm shipments at U.S. ports intended for the Caribbean increased by 48% from 2016 to 2023. This uptick reflects a sharp increase in the number of gun shipments seized, with 138 seizures from 2020 to 2023 compared to only 93 seizures between 2016 and 2019. The data also suggested that there was a gradual increase in assault rifles being exported to the region, with an 8% increase for the same period. The report noted that assault rifles were seized at a higher frequency in shipments to the Caribbean than in Latin America, despite being comparatively lower in number to Latin America. To news now on the international scene. A massive Israeli strike has flattened a residential building in the center of Lebanese capital Beirut. At least 11 people have been killed and more than 60 injured, according to Lebanese Health Ministry. The 8-story building was completely destroyed without warning by 5 missiles in the capital's densely populated Basta district, according to the Lebanon's national news agency. Explosions shook the city following the Israeli attack, which happened about 4 o'clock local time on Saturday. The Israeli military made no immediate comment about the Basta strike. Let's now turn to sports because Mercedes driver George Russell pipped Ferrari's Carlos Sainz to pole position at the Las Vegas Grand Prix with the final lap of an engrossing qualifying session. Russell snuck ahead of Sainz by just 0.098 seconds, while Alpine's Pierre Gasly pulled off a major shock by taking third place. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was fourth after a messy session, while Red Bull's Max Verstappen took fifth ahead of his title rival Lando Norris of McLaren. Norris needs to finish the race ahead of Verstappen to take the title fight to the next race in Qatar. 2 errors by Lewis Hamilton consigned him to 10th place in his Mercedes when he should have been fighting for a place at the front with Russell. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at 9. PMP wins divisional polls in by-elections. Mark Golding urges Andrew Holness to call general elections. JLP's Communication Task Force member Marlon Morgan says candidates' lack of familiarity with Annan Town residents played a major role in her defeat. Opposition Senator Damon Crawford says the PMP's win of the 2 divisional by-elections on Friday should put a damper on the JLP's annual conference. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at midday.
You've just heard Nationwide News Now at 9. Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Life is precious. Whether you're driving through the hills in the country, the town, or on the highway, remember, slow down and take it easy. Your family and